As long as 600 years ago, they considered an offense to tread on the threshold and to touch the ropes at the tent entrance. This view seems to be preserved until now. In this one can observe a striking example when a known idea, which meaning has disappeared many centuries ago, is still kept only because it existed previously. When in the course of time the general change in the people's condition occur in the altered social reality, we usually encounter many things that obviously have roots not in the new order of things, but merely are the heritage of old. The steadiness of survivals allows to affirm that the civilization of people manifesting such survivals has been the product of some ancient condition, just in which we should look for the explanation of customs and views that we cannot understand. These are the reflections of Edward Bernard Taylor in his book Primitive Culture. Step over the threshold. Before we open the falls and step over the threshold, which we may not tread on because treading on means to wish the evil to this home, let me ask you a riddle. There are two boundless carpet and we between them. I've raised something, crying up. I've done something in the head and made solid surface under my feet. Home is like world, and world is like home. Sky is the canopy of Yorta, a round-shaped tent where Kazakh nomads lived for centuries and even like now. Heaven's funnel, that was the name of the North Star, the mythic center of the sky, being a passage to another world in nomads' minds. Kazakhs believed that the heaven was inhabited by people. They were girt about under the throat. We live in the middle of the earth and wear belts and waists, and there are on-ground people who are girt about their legs. Both heavens and Yorta were divided into the lower and upper halves. The lower part of Yorta was considered a threshold, the dwelling of the hosts of forefathers, always facing the east. The sun entered the world and ascended the top place for the guests of honor and the sacral one as well. Please go higher, a guest was welcomed. My star is higher, Kazakh said when seeing a falling star. By a Turkish tradition, the eternal space of Yorta was divided in two parts from the person sitting in the tower with his face to the east. In this case, the right of southern part of Yorta would be at the right hand of the sitting person, while the left northern half at his left hand. The left half is the family and female part. There are the bed of the hosts and the larder in it. In the right one, the male part, there are things for man's purpose. This half is intended as well for non-permanent members of the family. An adult girl promised in the marriage guests the deceased, that is, for all those who were called conventionally the guests. A home with children is a festive bazaar. A home without children is a dreary graveyard. To build a house is a hard work, but to grow up a child is much more difficult. People say that for the first 7 days he is only form. In 40 days he is a clot. After 40 days the head, body and legs appear. In the 5th month the child begins moving and he will look like a person being beside his mother at that time. Therefore, old men begin guarding the future mother as early as from the 4th month to protect her from being near an evil and bad-eyed man. This is a popular belief we have. Heavens, help her. With the beginning of prenatal attacks, the future mother's hair was upplaited and all the knots on her garment was untied, according to the law of sympathetic magic that facilitated the confinement. As we say, the woman is the home and health, and everything beyond the home is the man. Usually the Kazakhs explained hard labor as any other disease by the actions of evil hosts, albaster, martyr, jinns and other ones. By popular belief, evil hosts were afraid of certain kinds of people such as Baxi, Malas, blacksmiths and others. The things frightening evil hosts were considered knives, sabras, rifles, lashes, harnesses. Oh heavens, help him. Kindik Sheshe, the mother in court, that was the name given to a woman assisting at the birth. She had to possess the gift of compassion, making the labor easy and to bring luck. We know cases when a midwife, feeling the coming confinement, experienced something like labor pains and hurried to the woman in childbirth to be relieved together with her of the sufferings. And this was she who buried the placenta and ritual knife into the earth. The first 40 days of the baby's life were considered dangerous both for him and his mother. In his period he was considered haram, unclean, and therefore he was shown to nobody, and only his mother was allowed to kiss him. He was regarded as if unborn and still belonging to the heavens world, the power of hosts. When the child smiled in sleeping, they said, "The hosts are speaking to him." All Turkish people considered Umay, the goddess, to be the patroness of infants who protected a baby until he reached the age of 3 years. Let the mother taste first, otherwise she will be bewitched. And remind the guests not to tear meat by hands, not to divide sheep's backbones in order to make the baby grow strong and healthy. After the closing of the cord, the baby was put into the cradle. On this occasion, for the cradle celebration basic toy, only women gathered. They brought with them pieces of cloth, usually torn off from the skirts and or dress, dried curd cuts, fried dirt nuts, bozags and sweets. The midwife threw the broad sweets through the opening in the cradle where a shamek was fixed, a hollow tubular bone to draw away the baby's excrement. When doing, the woman asked, "Tishtima," that meaning, "Has he emptied the bowels?" Then they picked up the sweets and ate, and that was considered the good omen. The cradle, sanctified by fire, was covered by 7, sometimes by 9 things. On the baby's blanket they put a chapon, an outwear robe, a cabernet, a field dress of the fighting man or shepherd, a ton, a fur coat made of sheepskin, a horse cloth, bridle and lash, kamcha, for a boy to become in future a true son of his people. By the popular belief of the Kazakhs, the name of a person foretells, predetermines his future and influences magically his fate. Usually the name manifested good wishes. Tursun, live long, Aristan, be courageous and lion, or could be related with the name of the host protector. Tanibergen, granted by the god, or indicated the belonging to a certain family. When 40 days dangerous for the baby's life elapsed, he was taken off the It-Koelek dog's vest. In times past, before putting the first vest on the baby, it was put on a dog. Kazakhs say a dog has 40 souls. Via the dog's vest, its power of survival is transferred to the baby and protects him just in the first 40 dangerous days. 40 days later, the waist is returned to the dog, and it is given to the dog with some food wrapped in it. When the dog's vest was taken off, the baby was bathed in 40 spoons of salted water to make the baby grow strong and healthy. May your 30 backbones and 40 ribs be strong sooner. Let me take illness. An infant in the womb passes from one state to another every 40 days. That's why we celebrate the 40th day after the birth and bathe him in 40 spoons of water. And after the death, people mark the 40th day and burn 40 wicks. Fingernails, toenails, and teeth are to be buried into the earth, because in the kingdom of heavens the God will return all these to the man. I know the land among the rivers dried, where my wise and peaceful tribe led their camps for many years, that were swept away by heavy tears. Just here in the hardest times, my code was tired through baby's cries, and now with my motherland, I'm only linked with working hands forever, and I sometimes think nothing is stronger than this link. The first shy steps of the baby on the earth are marked with a special ritual, Kesu, cutting of fetus. This ritual concludes the dangerous period and signifies a new stage in the baby's life. The baby's legs are wound by black and white rope, symbolizing the diversity of colors of life, the good and the evil, life and death, night and day. From now on, this is his destiny, to make his way and to roam from place to place along the open palm of steppe under the eternal eye of the heavens, relying only upon himself.
Onanıp bitken Kazak'a ay yanar endi yen kaldı. Atadan kalgan yer kayda, arıstan çaldı yer kayda. Ulların korgan bolmasa, büyüleri gelip korgayma.
The songs by Marat Baltabayev was used in this film.